since I did it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh yeah, you should go.
Yeah.
I would walk over there with you, but it would take me too long.
I agree.
He didn't really like that I put him on the spot either, I don't think.
I thought he just.
He is very excited that the place he will be has volunteer who sings every time he's there.
Right. And if I want, I can always start on again.
We have a few minutes.
Yeah. And then just
Yeah, and then I don't. I am okay either way if you want to do this before I talk or after I talk.
Yeah. Let's see.
Ricky Mato.
Right.
I'm flexible.
No, I think I'll do the bin one.
Do a Nigun and then I'll do a welcome and then we'll do
Yeah.
perfect.
And if we end up doing it the other way.
I'm very flexible.
I know, me too. Thank you.
Yes, and now I'm flexible and on medication. That's for tomorrow morning, but for tomorrow morning? Okay.
Nice to meet you in person.
It's great to see you.
Oh,
My wife Celia.
nice to meet you.
We're so happy to have you. Yeah. That's right. We'll have the live version. We'll talk to you at the
Looking forward to it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
We still have a couple of times.
We start a little after 6:30. It feels like people socializing in the hallway. I'll have to come in.
Ya ba 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 ba. Join with me. Ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba 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 ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ba. Ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba 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 ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ba. Ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba ba ba, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ba. Ya ba 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 ba. Ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ba.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I like the Ruach, the spirit we already have in the room as we join together on this Shabbat. So I decided we might as well get this elephant in the room out of the way right away, because everybody who has seen me before knows that my new accessory isn't typically with me. But you know, I thought so many great leaders throughout history had a cane that I should try too. So we've got Moses, Winston Churchill, Willy Wonka, we can't forget Willy Wonka, Fred Astaire, Queen Elizabeth, Charlie Chaplin, Gandhi. I think he walked out of the room, but even Steve Cavalier for a little bit of time. So I thought all of these great leaders had their own accessory that I too needed one. Don't worry, hopefully I will only have it for a few days and will be able to be healthy again. Just a minor back injury with a lot of pain. So if you want to talk more about it later, we can, but now we get to enter Shabbat. Let's put away those things that happened to us in the past week and carry on to the wonderful moments as we enter Shabbat together. So let us all take a deep breath. As we inhale, find that moment from this past week that you want to carry with you into Shabbat. And as we exhale, push aside all the worries that you can push aside. And let us just be grateful that we are able to be together. So let us sing those words, Hinei ma tov u'ma naim. If you need them, they are on page 128.
Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. A little melody change. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hinei ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Repeat after me. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Let's do that again louder. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'ma naim,
tonight I am so excited to welcome Charlene to lead our Shabbat services with me. I don't even know how many years we go back, but many years, back to my days when I worked at Goldman Union Camp Institute, kind of like Camp Jacobs here, but the one in Indiana. And Charlene was there in moments in Cincinnati and at Indiana with your daughter, and we go way back. So I'm very excited to be able to sing together this evening and bring such beautiful music to our Shabbat services for this weekend. Let us enter Shabbat with the lighting of Shabbat candles. I'm going to invite Debbie Cavalier to come forward to light our candles, and we can find the blessing on page 120.
Blessed are you, unaware God, sovereign of the universe, who helps us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As we enter into Shabbat, we come to those moments which we call Kabbalat Shabbat. And it is those psalms that we sing to bring even more joy into this moment so we can welcome Shabbat. But before we welcome Shabbat with these joyful melodies, turn to someone, maybe someone you did not travel with here this evening, maybe a new face for you. Turn to someone maybe in front of you or behind you and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful. I hope over the next weeks and months, aside from just me getting the opportunity to meet all of you, that you also have the opportunity to meet each other, because I know that not everybody in this room with us tonight knows each other, and it's so important as we build community to be in relationship with one another. Let us continue celebrating Shabbat, page 130.
To God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation, from mountain to sea, hear our song. Lechu neranena, yai lai 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 lai, la Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, la Aria, yai lai 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 lai, Tzor Yishenu, yai lai 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 lai, for all of the wonder in all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu
As we continue joyously offering praise to God, let us turn to page 135. At the bottom of this Hebrew, where you see Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, exalt Adonai our God, and bow toward God's holy hill, for Adonai our God is holy. Let us sing together.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu ve'harocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu ve'harocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu ve'harocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu ve'harocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Last time. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu ve'harocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishachanu le'harocho.
Tradition teaches us that on Friday night, as we welcome Shabbat, we also welcome the Sabbath bride, or that presence of Shabbat, to join us. Now, every Shabbat we welcome that presence, and it might feel the same. For all I know, you're sitting in the same seat that you sat in every time you've come to this space, or maybe this is your first time in this space. We might be feeling the same as we did last time we greeted the Sabbath bride, or we might be feeling completely different. But what tradition tells us is when we greet the Sabbath bride, she joins us in our unique community. And every single week we have the opportunity to create a new Shabbat community. There is also a tradition, just as you would greet someone as they came over to your house for a party, you stand and you go to the door when one does that. That if you're comfortable, there is a tradition that when we get to that final verse, we stand, we face the door we entered, and we greet that Sabbath bride. So we're going to sing together Lecha Dodi on page 138 and 139. We'll do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And if you are comfortable when we get to verse 9, I invite you to stand, face the door, so we can greet the Sabbath bride.
Just a minute, I've got melodies running through my head. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat l'kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat l'kabbalah. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat l'kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat l'kabbalah. Shemor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el
Sabbath bride, and now we get to welcome the ministering angels. Tradition says that when you leave synagogue on Friday nights, that a ministering angel comes home with you to fill your soul and bring you joy throughout the time frame of Shabbat. So let us greet them with the words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue on page 144 with Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadash v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uvizman karim v'yimeru. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam lo me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudashah, Le'elamin kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama v'yimeru.
I invite you to please rise.
Yai la 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 la.
I invite you to be seated. Let us read together at the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, Eloheinu Adonai, Eloheinu b'shofteinu, b'smeinu nasiya b'chukecha, v'nishma b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, le'orech yameinu, u'bahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla. V'yahavatcha al tasir, Lilil olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Amo Yisrael, Ohei Amo Yisrael, Ohei Amo Yisrael.
If it is your custom to rise for the Shema, I invite you to do so now.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated as we continue chanting together on page 154.
V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shoftecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, Emet. We read together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Singers.
Isn't it so great having such a
really is wonderful.
It makes us up here as we lead so much more joyful when everybody sings along. That's the point of Shabbat, to be together and to be in community and singing together. Let us continue singing on the top of page 161.
Second, okay. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Be our shelter from life's storms. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu, Leshalom. Hashivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
When we sing the words of Vishamru during our Friday night services, we think about the reasons we celebrate Shabbat. We are told in Vishamru to guard and to keep. Shamor v'zachor, Shabbat. So before we enter actually singing the words of Vishamru, I'm wondering if anybody is brave enough tonight to share with us something that really brings them joy on Shabbat. Something that you do to help you do that, keep and guard Shabbat. Anybody want to share?
Blessings with my husband.
Singing.
Okay.
Blessings. Wonderful. Others? Yes.
Sing Kashruni.
So I was like, he's got to be in the room somewhere. Yeah? Nice.
Wishing others good Shabbos.
things that help you bring joy to Shabbat? Well, as you think of those, and I'm sure others, let us sing together page 162.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat v'dorotam berit olam. This is not a solo. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat v'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat v'dorotam berit olam.
As we enter our Amidah, our central prayers of our service, we begin this prayer together collectively as a community. We are reminded of our ancestors, those who came before us. We think about the strength of God and the strength that we have within us to be holy people. And we end with those words of Kadosh, being holy like God is holy. And after we do those prayers communally together, we have a moment to go inward and move from the communal to the private and the personal. So as we turn to page 164, I invite you to please rise as we join together first communally in our Amidah.
Baruch atah
invite you to continue with your silent personal prayers, either the words you find in the prayer book until page 180, or just the words you have in your own hearts this Shabbat evening, and I invite you to be seated whenever you wish. A moment in our service now to think of all of those in need of healing, those in our own family, in our community, and across the world. This evening, our congregation is thinking of Joy Lewis, Lucy Silva, Christine Weil, Minna Bat Yentl, Mordechai Ben-Dina, Rowan Hausman, Anna Carlo, Judy Roheim, Friedel Tamara Bat Liba Bela, Menucha Pesha Bart Charney Umoshe, Gretchen Haynes, Dorian Reeson, Steve Sinkoff, Linda Weinstein, and Nathan Zuckerman. If there are others you are thinking of in need of healing and you'd like to share their names aloud, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours.
Joan Gerard.
All the names we've said aloud and those whom we hold in our hearts, together we turn to page 371 and pray for all in need of healing. This is the first time in my life I think I've ever delivered a sermon while needing to use a cane. So all of you pray that it's the last time I ever have to do that as well. Yeah, thank you. When I was 3 years old, I cracked my head open while staying in a hotel on vacation. When I retell the story, I emphasize the point about having to share my red popsicle with my brother after getting stitches in the hospital. To this day, I never understood why I had to share when nothing had happened to him. My mom, who's over there, I'm going to embarrass her a minute, retells the story, emphasizing the point that they were not right by my side when I fell off the bed and hit my head on the nightstand in the hotel room. My dad, also over there, retells the story, emphasizing the chaotic drive in our wood-paneled station wagon to find the nearby hospital in a location he was not familiar with. We all experienced the same event, but retell it from our own perspective. Possibly because those are the parts we each remember with more detail, or possibly because we each want to teach a different lesson from this shared experience. My family is definitely not the only one that retells stories about a shared experience from different perspectives. I am sure right now you are thinking in your head of that same story that each member of your family tells just slightly differently. And even in Torah, we learn that the Israelite family retells stories differently from each other. This week we begin the fifth and final book of Torah, Deuteronomy. In Deuteronomy, Moses gives a series of speeches to the new generation who are about to enter the land. In this week's portion, he begins by retelling what happened to the previous generation during their wanderings in the wilderness. In a close reading of these retellings, although both accounts have a general agreement, we notice that Moses does not retell the story in the same way that it was told in the book of Numbers. For example, Moses' retelling of the account of the spies is different than the one we find in the book of Numbers. The one in Numbers describes the events as they happened at that time, almost 39 years earlier than the speech we are reading in this week's portion. Some of the glaring differences include the fact that in Numbers, God sent the spies to scout out the land, and in Moses' retelling, the people requested to go scout the land. The reason for scouting the land also seems to vary. This week, the men go to spy on the land. In Numbers, the Hebrew word used does not actually translate to spy, but to explore. According to commentary on the different words used in each account, the Hebrew word used in this week's portion means to seek out what is weak about a place. And in the book of Numbers, the Hebrew word used means to seek out what is good about a place. Two very different tasks for these spies. Why would there be such glaring discrepancies between the account in Numbers and the retelling this week? Possibly because the account in Numbers tells us what happened, and the account in Deuteronomy was not meant for Moses just to recall a fun family story, but to warn this new generation. Each time we retell a story, we tell it not only from our perspective, but also with an agenda in mind. Today is no different. When watching the news, the story of an event that is retold is shared differently dependent on the agenda of the specific news channel we are watching. And we make choices about which channel to watch dependent on our own perspectives. So how do we live in a world where everyone retells a story differently and pushes their own agenda? Many of you might have seen the meme, those pictures with funny words, going around, where a number is painted on the ground, and two people are standing on either side of that number. Picture it in your head. One proclaims the number is a 6, while the other says it's a 9. Who is right? In reality, they're both right. But how do we live in a world where the number can be both a 6 and a 9? The meme reads, just because you are right does not mean I am wrong. There are things in this world that I believe have only one answer. For example, I believe that all people should be treated equally, no matter the color of their skin, their faith, their gender identity, the place where they were born, their sexual orientation, or the amount of money they have in the bank. But there are other things that exist in this world that are more open to interpretation because of one's perspective. The hard part is to try to figure out what principles we each as individuals stand on in order to live in a world where a 6 can also be a 9. In this moment, as we navigate this new unified Jewish community, we need to remember this lesson. Some of us recall a program, service, or moment from our collective history emphasizing certain details, while another person emphasizes different details. I see my goal at this moment in our community building to listen to all the perspectives and try to find a way for us to build upon these strong foundations and create new. I see my role to learn about what was important for each and every one of you and why you are here at the same time as bringing the next generation, just as Moses did in this week's Torah portion. So, I have a job for all of you. Doesn't need to happen tonight, doesn't even have to happen tomorrow. In the next few weeks, months, even years maybe, I need you to tell me your perspective. Tell me your favorite memories from your respective legacy congregation. Tell me about the favorite program you attended, no matter if it happened once or every single year. If you tell me, I will be able to, with your help, move us from strength to strength in a community where some people see a 6 and some see a 9. Without all of your perspectives, we will not get the full picture of the story. Just like when we combine my retelling with my mom's retelling and my dad's retelling, I wonder what my brother would say. I'll call him later. We get one complete story about how I cracked my head open while on vacation. I will try to combine all of your retellings of what brought our new unified community to this moment into one complete story. This challenge, though, is not an easy one, but maybe if a few of us can figure it out, then it will lead to more and more people being able to work together while having different perspectives. We learn in Pirkei Avot a collection of ethical teachings. Mitzvah goreret mitzvah. One mitzvah or deed leads to another. Just like one mitzvah can lead to another, one person willing to work with another can hopefully lead to many people willing to work together. So let us begin this process together and watch as our strong foundation turns into a newly created Kehila Kedosha, holy community. Shabbat Shalom. As we prepare to conclude our service, we return to our prayer books, and we're going to, in a moment, sing together Aleinu, but I need some helpers. I can't even walk up those stairs tonight. So I'm looking over here. I've had these friends help me before. Or are there more kids in the room? Come on up. We're half asleep. Are we awake? My kid left the room. Any other kids want to come join us? Help us open the ark. You want to come in? Come on up. As they open the ark, I invite you to turn to page 586 and to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, v'tetu lach v'yoser b'reshit, shelo asanu v'haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kapenu kahen, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu orim, As they close the ark, I invite you to please be seated. Joining my friends on a good Shabbat treat. We got two choices tonight. Do you want a candy necklace, a fruit stick, or a Hershey kiss? Hershey. Go for it. Take it. You can take two if it's okay with your family.
Can I take two?
rice candy right off the necklace. Perfect. Good choices. We're supposed to bring a little extra sweetness on Shabbat. Also, when we come together on Shabbat, we make sure there's a moment in our service to remember our loved ones who are no more. Those who shaped us into the people we are today. This evening, our community is remembering two taken from us recently, Jerry Sipos and Donald Kim. We are also thinking of those who died in the past year, Richard Stone, Michael Carpenter, Jimmy Brownleader, Wallace Dunham, Sheila Parker, Francis Edelman, Jean London Eisenbach, Fred Cantor, Miriam Grossman, Elizabeth Saxe, Marvin Bender, Donald Ostern, Elaine Garver, Robert Feldman, Eileen Burton, Virginia Gordon, Bruce Dunham, Jim Bowman, R.B. Dickerson, Moni Meyer, Joanne Strickler, John Wormser, and Robert Eisenbach. We also think of those who died at this season in years past and whose family members are observing the Yortzeit, the anniversary of death, on this Shabbat. Ingram Vander, Eva Singerman Berenson, Jacob Joseph Cohen, Morris Fishbein, Yetta Kaplan, Miriam Newman Kaufman, Bertha M. Klein, Rebecca Lolke, Betty Jo Mabry, Dee Dee Mayer, Herman Moyes Jr., Barbara K. Painter, Sarah Plonsker, Peril Rayner, Yolanda St. Pierre, Joseph Van Oz, Florence Waits. If there are others you are thinking of this Shabbat evening, or if you would like to correct any of my mispronunciation, I invite you to share those names aloud as my eyes meet yours. As we think of all those names we've said aloud and those whom we hold in our hearts, we turn to page 598, and I invite you, if it is your custom, to please rise. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirotev yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yahei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Olamei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitroman V'yitnaseh V'yitzadar V'yitzaleh V'yitzalal Shmei Kudasha B'rihu Le'ela Minkol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Ta'amiran Be'alma V'imru. Amen. Yahei Shlama Rabbah Mitzshamaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'asei Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Zikronam Livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing. As together we say, you may be seated. Going to invite, Lindsay, yeah, I was like, I don't know who thought you were my board announcer. Representing our Board of Trustees to share a few brief announcements.
Good evening. I am Lindsay Burton. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us tonight for services. We are so delighted to have Charlene Gubitz.
Thank you, that's correct.
With us this weekend as our guest musician. Thank you so much for adding to our services. That's in here, but like legitimately, that's really is wonderful.
It's wonderful for me to be here too, especially with the singing congregation like you have.
Tomorrow there will be Torah study in the green room at 9:30 a.m. both in person and on Zoom. There will be services in the sanctuary at 10:30 in person and on YouTube. After services, we invite you to stay for a Kiddush luncheon in the social hall right over there. At 5 p.m. there will be a Havdalah hosted by the Saxies on Zoom. Links for all these things went out in the weekly email. If you didn't get the email, that's not my fault. Call the office on Monday. Also join us for 7:30 tonight. No, tonight must be tomorrow. I don't know.
Did I type tonight?
Yes.
Tomorrow.
For
My fault, not hers.
for an in-person only Havdalah and discussion in order to commemorate Tisha B'Av, the 9th day of Av, which is the date in history where many disasters befell the Jewish people. Okay, this one's big. The corned beef sandwich sale is on August 21st from 10 to 2. This is an important program for our congregation. You can pre-order online and just drive through to pick up your sandwich kits on August 21st. The information is in the weekly email. It is an easy online order process, or you can call the office. Hadassah is back in Baton Rouge with a special wine and cheese event. Come learn about Hadassah's work in both Israel and the United States. Roselle Unger, Executive Director of the Jewish Family Service of Greater New Orleans, will be the guest speaker. This event is open to all and will be on Sunday, August 28th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. here at the Jefferson location of UJCBR. Shabbat happens every week and we need your help. If you are interested in hosting the Shabbat Nashas or Onegs, please reach out. Shabbat Shalom.
More?
Please, we are in the process of really planning high holidays right now, and you all received a link to a survey to let us know about your desire to participate in some way in the holiday services, and it's really, really important and helpful to the visual committee, to the rabbi, if you complete that survey. So please, we would be happy to do this.
And also a thank you to everyone who helped create this weekend. We're going to join after services in the social hall for a lovely oneg and join after services tomorrow morning for a lovely Kiddush luncheon. So thank you to those who planned it and then canceled it because I was sick and then replanned it. So thank you all for that. Before we head over there, though, we're going to close out our service offering. I have felt very peaceful in this moment tonight. It's been a room full of spirit and ruach, and I feel very peaceful. So let us send our peace to the world by closing with Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom Bim'olam.
So we can go enjoy our beautiful oneg. Let us first join together in Kiddush and Motzi. If it is your custom to be standing during Kiddush, I invite you to please rise. And if you need the words, they are found on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava uvratzo inchilanu Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Yom Tequila, Lemikra Kodesh, Zecher Letziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu V'acharta, V'yotanu Kidashta, Mikol Ha'amim, V'shabbat Koshecha, Be'ahava uratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Let us also uncover this beautiful challah up front and join together. And then after we do motzi, I will invite you to come get a piece of